Hey guys, welcome back. And we're here at the closing table once again. We're filming on Saturday this week, which is a first. Ben was so busy all week, we had to reconfigure stuff. I'm over here writing an offer. He's sending me an approval letter right now. We were going to start 20 minutes ago. That's business, folks. Hey, the closing table is presented by Lend with Ben, Cornerstone Home Lending, and the Oceanaire Realty. We're back here to talk about a lot of fun stuff, a lot of serious stuff, have some laughs, get a little pissy, and just have a great time. So, Ben, you ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Something new. Let's get started. March Madness fallout means basketball coaches get fired, or they just leave for another job that they've been planning to take for over a year when they could have just stayed at their previous position and only moved one time. So, first of all, Carolina, Hubert Davis is out. What do you think about that? And do you think Carolina finally goes outside the family to hire a coach this time?
I think Carolina's going to do whatever it takes to compete for national championships. And whether that means stay inside or go outside, I'm not sure. Historically, they've always done it inside. So, you know, for me, I don't really have too much of a dog in the fight other than college basketball is better when Carolina's better, in my opinion. Same as Kentucky, same as a lot of the other blue blood schools out there. But yeah, I mean, he in his defense, he didn't have his best player. He was out, right? What was it, Caleb Wilson? Yeah. You know, he's out for the year, and I mean that's a tough spot to be in. So I think there was more going on than just the wins and losses. I think the program donors probably said, you know what, it's time for a change, and they got one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, personally, I love it when Carolina's in chaos. The whole Doherty scenario that happened years ago was probably my favorite time watching them. I would love a repeat of that. I mean, I think Hubert did a fine job. They beat Duke, and then, you know, they lost to us, but that was without two players. They faltered down the stretch because their best player was out. I mean, what are you going to do? That's not the coach's fault. I still feel like that they were competitive. But hey, anytime that they are in a little bit of disarray, I love it until we get in disarray like 3 days later. Will Wade is the biggest punk ass in all of sport. Just a complete bitch. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's so unfortunate. The dude straight up lied to people multiple times. And it comes down to, and I believe this wholeheartedly, this has been a plan since he left McNeese State, was to go back to LSU. And he could have just stayed at McNeese State another year and done it. One thing I am thankful for is he helped show how passionate our fan base can be and how we're willing to step up when we think we've got the right guy. Of course, we didn't have the right guy. So I'm excited to see who we bring in. Regardless of who it is, I hope at least they're a better person than Will Wade is. The guy clearly has not changed since he was paying players before it was an option. And it's just a shame when somebody, you know, tells you they've changed, but, you know, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Tell us how you really feel this today, Doug Yacht. Tell us how you really feel. No, I texted you when I saw that going down. I mean, that dude's a weasel. And honestly, LSU, their athletic department, you know, I mean, they, with the Lane Kiffin scenario, this scenario, they have no shame. I honestly hope LSU gets blasted the next couple seasons, you know, with a lot of losses. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. I don't personally have anything against LSU. I just think, you know, the way they've gone about their madness with the coaching hires, I mean, it's not right. You can't tell me there wasn't something going on behind the scenes well before the season ended at NC State. You know, behind closed doors, conversations were happening. So I agree with you. I think, Will Wade, you're a scuzz. LSU, you've been scuzzy. You remain scuzzy. Keep it scuzzy, baby.
I guess do what you do, right? We know your MO.
There you go. Be you.
That's right. All right, let's keep moving on to your approved. how productive were you this week? Now, the games are mostly in the evening now, so it doesn't take away from that. I'll tell you what killed my productivity, not looking at March Madness, but it was following this whole coaching drama. We need to hire somebody so I can get back to work. This is killing me. I'm on Twitter and listening to podcasts. It is just absolutely terrible. One thing I do want to shout out, Ben, you might not listen to this show because you're at the coast, but OG, um, Ovius and Giglio, they're both NC State grads. They're both journalists. One worked for the News and Observer. Joe Giglio did. Joe Ovius worked for 850 The Buzz or 99 The Fan for years up here. They had a radio show together. They got let go, so they started their own podcast. And now they're like the preeminent Triangle Sports coverage team. Really worth a listen if you haven't checked those guys out. I listened to almost every one of their episodes. And Giglio didn't like Wade from the start. It was clearly obvious. He called it out, basically. And then he did a great 10-minute overview in their most recent podcast. So if you want to hear it from someone other than me, go check them out. They're really worth a listen. They're good. But as far as productivity, it's not the games killing me now. It's all this coaching search crap. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, Louisville's out. You know, UNCW got knocked out of the NIT. I was there. We actually got to host Dayton, and it was a sold out crowd. In NIT games, you could shoot a shotgun through the stadium and not hit anybody, right? I mean, there's
don't do that.
Goes. No, well, obviously don't do that. But I mean, you know, I'm assuming our listenership has common sense to know that's a, you know, just an analogy, if you will. I mean, you can't. Nobody attends the NIT games, but UNCW showed up and packed the house. Now, Dayton handled us, but you know, at the end of the day, it was still a great time. Still a great excuse to go watch the Seahawks play in March. Louisville, you know, we got bounced out. I really don't care anymore. My bracket, I looked on it. I've got 74.6% of my picks right, which puts me near the last of all the heavyweights that enter their brackets. That's why I don't even care about doing it. But I will say this, Doug, as a whole, to me, this tournament has been excellent. The quality of basketball, the competition. I mean, there were some great games on yesterday. Michigan State made a huge run against UConn. There were lots of great things that I've been able to witness. Buzzer beaters, you know, heartbreaking moments, and just a lot of really good basketball. A lot of look at the top coaches in the Sweet 16. I mean, you had Pitino. You got Izzo, you got Hurley, you've got John Shire. I'm going to put him in there right now. The guy's doing a great job at Duke. So, you know, for me, it's just been overall a great tournament to watch. Yes, my teams are not playing in it at this point, but, you know, I'm kind of getting used to that too, unfortunately.
Well, I agree. It's been a great tournament, and everybody likes to see the underdogs make a run, but it's really cool to see the heavyweights go head to head too. You know, the Duke St. John's game was good. I think we're going to have St. John's and Duke and UConn play. Oh my God. If Duke gets the whistles they usually get, Dan Hurley's head might explode, or he might actually pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Who knows what's going to happen there?
Well,
so I'm really excited. Well, if he does it, throw the dude in jail. He's a slime ball anyways. But my dark, although I've still got Duke in my bracket, of course, which we have talked about over and over, and they got one of their big guys back last night, which is going to help them, and obviously did against St. John's. Now I'm pulling for Tennessee because Justin Gainey is who I'm kind of pulling for to be our head coach. He played at NC State, was a guard when I was in school. He's been there with Rick Barnes for several years. He's a great recruiter. So he's my dark horse to come to NC State. Might be not even a dark horse, but that's who I'm pulling for in the tournament now, because I'd love to see them go a long way. And I've always liked Rick Barnes because he loved to go head to head with Dean Smith when he was a coach at Clemson, and he wouldn't back down from the big Dean or the big nose or whatever you want to call him. So that's my rooting interest going forward the rest of the tournament.
You know, Doug, I kind of thought that you would be interested in getting Dan Hurley as your coach at NC State. I've heard some rumors that might actually be a realistic scenario.
We couldn't get Bobby Hurley probably, but that's fine. I wouldn't want him either. Anyways, let's keep it rocking on the hunt. Expansion is a big talk in NBA and MLB. I'm going to start with basketball first. The Governors, the NBA, opened it up to explore expanding to Vegas. Boo. Vegas is so overplayed. But also bringing back the Seattle Supersonics. I know you're not a super huge NBA fan other than the Hornets, who we both love, who are looking really good again right now. But what do you think about expansion in the NBA and those two cities?
I mean, I don't really care. I'll be honest. I really don't care. I honestly think if it'll build interest and intrigue in the league in those particular cities, go for it. I think Seattle, the Supersonics, they were very relevant. Gary the Glove Payton, Sean Kemp, those guys back in the day. They could play. In the 90s, the Sonics were legit. So, for me, it has been tried in Seattle. Obviously, I think they moved that franchise to Oklahoma City, if I recall correctly. But I just, I don't really care. There's been a lot of talk over the years about Louisville, Kentucky getting a pro basketball team because of the fact that they have a 22,000 seat state of the art NBA caliber arena in the KFC in the Yum Center downtown there. But I don't think that they're going to get it. I haven't heard anybody pushing for that politically in Louisville or whatnot, but I guess there is support surrounding it in Vegas and Seattle. I mean, whatever. I personally don't care. To your point, I am super excited about the Charlotte Hornets right now. They have the best record in the Eastern Conference since January the 3rd. I think they're like 26 and was it 26-3 or something crazy? I mean, they have been on fire. And I also, I love Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. Those are my two guys right there. They're tearing it up for the Lakers and the Nuggets. But what are your thoughts, Doug? I'm neutral to it. I really don't care.
Well, I think it's cool that Seattle gets. Seattle's a good sports town. You got the Mariners, you got the Seahawks. They got an expansion hockey team, the Kraken, which I think is a great mascot, by the way. A few years ago, I'd love to see them come back. I think Vegas is completely overplayed, but the market is speaking for itself or whatever. So go ahead. We've got a team in North Carolina, so I'm good with that. And I love the Hornets and glad to see they're knocking on the door and getting out of the play-in round now. So if they can keep pushing here, I think we got 9 games left. So we'll see what will happen. What I'm more interested in, though, is Major League Baseball expansion. And it looks like in 2027 is when that might finally come up formally and they might start actually exploring cities. And I'm really optimistic that maybe Raleigh gets a shot. We're the biggest market that's in contention that doesn't have a Major League Baseball team. And we're bigger than about 10 markets that currently have teams. I think we're not overdone with professional franchises. We only have 1 here, unlike Charlotte, who already has 3. I don't think Charlotte's the city. Charlotte's finally getting the Panthers and the Hornets worked out. Maybe y'all should just focus on that. Let us handle baseball up here. But definitely excited to see what happens.
The thing about baseball, Doug, where would you guys play? If
they'd have to build a stadium,
right?
And it would either be there's a big development that has been talked about for several years. It's actually about to start kicking off south of downtown. There's a lot of vacant land that's been acquired. There's also talk that there's enough room to build one out by Lenovo and Carter Finley so they can have like a shared parking situation. And they're also they're starting a project out there near Lenovo and Carter Finley to kind of replicate the Battery in Atlanta with other venues, with some residential, with some restaurant type spaces to make that more of a destination and not necessarily on game day. So I think either one of those would be really great. But I'm really excited about the prospect of it. I think that would be really cool.
No, I like that.
All right, let's keep it going. All right, into our prediction. We're going to lock it in and see if anybody has changed. Who you got in the Final Four?
Wow. Well, I had Houston and Duke, Michigan and Arizona. Houston got bounced. So, right now, I think it looks like Arizona is definitely a team to beat. Michigan looks super solid. Duke, with the injuries, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I think it really boils down to Duke and Michigan right now. Excuse me, Michigan and Arizona. That's kind of my take right now on what I've been seeing. But yeah, that's I just don't. As far as a complete team, Arizona has the size. They played good defense. Played great defense, actually. And they can compete athletically with any of the teams that are still in the tournament. It just boils down to who's hitting their shots, I feel like.
Yeah, well, always who gets hot. I had Duke, Florida, Michigan, and Arizona as my Final Four. I'm pretty sure. So not really that inventive, all number one seeds, but 3 of them are still there, right? So in competitions like this, it's usually the best team and usually the best coach team. With Duke getting one of their guys back, I think that they're still in there. We'll see what happens. But man, it could come down to who wins between Duke and UConn tomorrow.
Right. Right.
We'll just see what happens. But I'm super excited about it. And we're looking at Elite Eight now. It's Saturday, so we got games tonight and games tomorrow, and then we'll be looking at the Final Four middle of next week. So it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting. I'm still leaning towards Duke, though. We'll see. All right, let's move into to our due diligence a little bit. Big story came out this week that a family out in the Midwest somewhere turned down an offer
Kentucky,
of
baby. The Bluegrass State, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not quite the Midwest. We'll call that the Mideast.
Right.
The still east of the Mississippi. Turned down $26 million for family farmland to turn into an AI hub. What do you think about this? Is this just bluegrass people being bluegrass?
I'm gonna tell you something. I watched the interview with the lady that owns the land. There's like a mother and a daughter, and they are country, baby. They are country people. I mean, they interviewed her. It was like, we ain't going, I was like, yeah, girl, get it. So I got excited listening to them. Country people, man. And honestly, they had a great point. They're like, you know what? We're watching land being developed across this nation like crazy. And we're losing our farms. We're losing our farmers. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen when people can't grow food anymore? The ladies just, I mean, I don't know. $26 million would be hard for me to turn down, but for them, it's more about principle. I guess they don't need the money, but they sure didn't look. And no disrespect to these people at all, but they didn't look like they were millionaires already. They didn't show up to the interview and the Rolls Royce. They didn't show up in the suit and tie or nice dress. They were down home on the porch in the rocking chair in a T-shirt. Looked like they'd been out in the field all day, and. I actually really, really like this. I'm not so sold on all this AI crap. I go back, I'm paranoid about it, I guess, for good reason. Why are we developing a technology that is going to end up being stronger and more intelligent than we are to take over? I mean, are they the next form of evolution? Is this it? Is this what we're evolving to? Machines who can repair themselves and create themselves and have all the information that we've provided them over our time on earth, and then something happens to us. Like, I'm not sold on this. So good for these country bumpkins, my people in Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, drawing a line and saying, hell no, we don't want your $26 million. We like our farmland. We like what we're doing, and we don't want to see farms across this country get developed into AI data centers. So we can fuel, in my opinion, what is the enemy in a lot of cases. I'm not sold on all this AI stuff. I feel like that man will create our own demise, and we're building it right now if we're not careful.
Can't disagree with any of that, man. I'm right on board with you completely, 100%. Let's keep moving on. Our fix this for this episode. How do we fix how we talk about mortgage rates? Not how do we fix mortgage rates, because me and you can't fix mortgage rates, and they suck right now. Let's be honest. It just is what it is. How do we fix how we talk about mortgage rates with folks?
We can't get so inundated with jumping on the first shiny thing. Like as an example, oh my gosh, rates are down a quarter. Guess what, everybody? I'm going to post it everywhere. Look, rates are low. And then 2 or 3 days later, boom, they're back up from that 0.25% drop you just got done talking about. I think we need to be responsible about it and informative and realistic. We've been talking on this show now for almost 20 episodes about how mortgage interest rates are falling in the past 9 months, how we've seen a lot of great progress, Doug. It's still better than it was, but this Iran conflict has caused rates to go up 0.75%. That's a big increase. You don't see people advertising at that point or talking about, hey, guess what, guys? Rates are up. So we're informing folks. We're almost misinforming people. When all the news comes out from these news outlets. I can't even calling them news outlets is actually a discredit to news. But when I see a lot of these media outlets that come out and, oh my gosh, interest rates have fallen to this, fallen to that, and I get customers that may be and clients that may be locked in already calling and saying, hey Ben, we just read rates are way down, rates are way down. Well, that's not exactly the truth, and here's why. Or I already did a concession to help you get your rate to the nice low level it is, and the rate drop is just meeting where that was before or where that is now. So we've already taken care of that. So you can't expect a drop in your rate right now. Nothing pleases me more than making a phone call to clients and saying, guess what, your rate's lower, or guess what, guys, rates have dropped. Because I don't make money off interest rates in the mortgage world. I make money off loan volume. The more loans I close every month, the bigger my paycheck is. So it's all volume incentivized. It's not selling you a higher rate. But the fake news and also some of the stuff people put out there, like, guys, I know as a real estate agent or as a mortgage lender or whoever in our industry, we are trying to build excitement and we want to inform people. We want to let them know, man, now it's getting to be a great time, guys. But we have to do it responsibly. It can't be like, oh my gosh, rates are falling, the floor's coming out. Oh yes, the house is on fire. Let's go. Because a week later, you have a conflict overseas, and guess what? They're right back up to almost where they were before they started falling. So again, I think a lot of it is not overreacting, and it's also about being a good, stable, steady source of information for our clients, not taking our highs too high or our lows too low. If I see rates dropping, I've got a whole Rolodex of people on my desk right now to flip through to call them about a refinance. I get several calls a week. Ben, I'm thinking about refi. Is it time? No, it's not. Well, the news says, and everybody else says, the rates have dropped. Well, I can assure you that they haven't. They haven't from where they originally went to. As a matter of fact, they've gone up. You need to sit tight. It stinks for me because I'm having to turn down a lot of refinance business right now. But, and selfishly, that's how I get paid. But it's not doing right by my clients. It's not the time to refinance right now unless you need to take cash out to pay off debt. It's just not. Yeah. Not for a rate and term refinance. You need to wait and find the floor. So for me, it's all about the kind of information that is shared, the enthusiasm that it's shared with, and the light that it's supposed to be presented in. I've seen some really bad advertisements about rates being in the 4s on a fixed rate term right now. And that doesn't come without massive points. But the advertisements don't tell you that. They don't tell you that you're paying 3 points and buy down or whatever. So anyway, that's my whole thing. Rates are my world, Doug. Sorry, I kind of took that over, but it just, we have to disclose information responsibly. And I'll say this, stay in your lane, right? So like with me, I'm not going to make comments on Facebook or post stuff on Facebook or social media outlets that say, hey guys, home inventory is this, home sales are this, unless I'm sharing it from a trusted resource like you. And the same thing I would say goes for mortgage rates. Like, let's be very careful. I see some agents out there that post rates, and that's technically not legal. It's not. You have to be a licensed loan officer. Look it up. You have to be a licensed loan officer to quote interest rates. But yet I see some real estate agents that don't know any better, that take it upon themselves, and they're actually out of compliance by doing that. So everybody needs to be careful. Get with your trusted mortgage advisor right here. I'll give you the truth, give you the skinny, and get you on the right path. But yeah, that's my take on all that.
Well, you're doing right by your clients, and that's what we're supposed to do. And people should appreciate and do appreciate that. I know from an agent perspective, it's basically this. You can't time the market. If you keep waiting for rates, you're not guaranteed to get what you want. We're still lower, if I'm correct, than where we were around this time last year, even though we were much lower, a month ago. But the folks who were waiting a month ago for them to drop lower, well, where are you now? So you need to make the decision with the best information you have, and that's just what's happening now. You can't try to guess what's going to happen. You can't plan for what's going to happen. You need to move based on what you know in front of you now. Just like you can't predict the stock market or time the stock market. So use the info you have. Talk to someone you trust who knows that the business is adjacent to the business, can connect you with the right person, Ben, to talk about the business, and then make an informed, educated decision from somebody who actually knows what's happening. But
that's right.
Let's move on to our counteroffer. Back to the land. We didn't really talk about it this much. gun to your head, you're going to take the money?
I mean, it'd be hard, but it
Yeah.
depends, right? Like if I as a family and as an individual, if I have enough money where I don't need the 26 million to do things outside of what I normally do, if I'm comfortable, then I can rest on my principles, right? Like I can fall back
Yeah.
on that and say, you know what, I'm good. We don't have to sell, and guess what? We're not going to. You also, I admire people that are digging in their heels and saying, absolutely not. We're not doing it anymore. I admire that. This AI, especially with this AI creep show stuff, man, I'm not into it. I don't like it. And I applaud these folks. So for me, don't get me wrong, $26 million is a lot of money. But if I didn't need the money and I was making it the way that I am, and I had family legacy and lineage that went back, 100 years or longer or whatever with farming, it'd be really hard to sell my land. Who's to say that their kids won't down the road though, right? But at least I admire these people so much that would have been an easy sell for most people and say, you know what, I'm cashing out. We're set for a couple generations. Well, they didn't do that. They're old school, man. I love those country people in Kentucky. I love it.
I love it too. Bluegrass state, baby. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get local. You know what season it is? It's not spring, brother. It's pollen season in North Carolina. How are you handling it? And how yellow is your car, your outside furniture, your clothes when you walk from your car to your office? How are you handling it over there?
I mean, it's handling me, bro. Like, it's kicking my ass. Every year, it kicks the living hell out of me every single year. I cannot escape it. I need to start planning a trip somewhere where the pollen is not exploding out of the trees all over the place. I don't know where that is, but I need to find it while this goes on. I was sicker than a dog this week, and I think it started because I wasn't taking any type of allergy medicine or allergy relief. I just didn't, and it developed into something respiratory. We were supposed to shoot our show on Wednesday, and I'm like, Doug, Steve, I can't shoot. I'm sick. And they're probably thinking I'm full of shit, but I was sicker than a dog. Still worked, mind you, still got it done for our clients this week. But I mean, it's a nightmare. The pollen is so bad. I remember when I lived in Porter's Neck Plantation on the 7th fairway there, I sold that house a couple years ago, but literally you would be sitting on your back porch or looking out your window because you didn't want to get attacked by the pollen. But literally the wind would blow and it would carry clouds of pollen all across the golf course. It was insane, like a sea of pollen. So it's all over everything. It's inside me. It's outside me. I can't take it anymore. But I don't know, Doug, how is the pollen in Raleigh? Because I can tell you here at the coast, it's freaking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I was in the backyard the other day and we got one of these pollen tornadoes blowing through the yard like this, just completely gross when you can see it spinning like that. I blew off the driveway in the yard and the front porch, and it's just like you're completely engulfed by it. So we did get some rain last night, which was nice, and hopefully we'll tamper that down a little bit, and then hopefully another week or so we'll get this behind us. And the pollen sucks, but one thing that's great about the pollen is it keeps North Carolina so green. And that's one of the great things about living here, man. We got beautiful grass. It ain't blue, it's green. We got beautiful trees. It's such a lush place to live here in North Carolina. And I just love it. I'm really thankful for that. And I guess it's worth putting up with the pollen inundation for a couple of weeks every, March and April. And that's not from the pollen.
Well, I get your point. I don't know if it's worth it necessarily for all the hell that we have to endure. It's no, I'm kidding. It. You know what? It means spring is coming. Bring it on. Bring on the warmer weather and the sunshine. Let's go. And I also love how it got dark last night. It didn't get dark till 8:00 last night.
Beautiful, ain't it? Beautiful,
dude, I'm so sick of it. Leave the time alone, man. No more daylight savings and daylight bullshit. I'm done with it. Leave it alone and let me enjoy 9:00 sunset. Let me enjoy all of it. It's so depressing when it gets dark at 5:00 in the afternoon. Give me a break.
Agreed. Amen. Hey, did you see Georgia is actually voting on doing away with it completely?
I
So
like it, Georgia. Let's go.
I mean, I think it's cool. All right, let's move on to our final walkthrough. We're almost done. I'm going to flip the script a little bit from our rundown, Ben, because we've been talking a lot about basketball. Let's talk about, and I know you're not the biggest MLB fan, but Major League Baseball opening day, we just had it. Who are you paying attention to this year, if at all, in baseball? Who do you think is going to pull it out?
So I personally am paying attention to the Cincinnati Reds because I'm from Louisville and Cincinnati's not far away, like an hour and a half. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she would literally demand silence in the house at her house when the Reds were playing, and she would put on her little radio with the antenna sticking up because they didn't have it on TV all the time back then, especially. So she would listen to it on the radio, and if you talked, man, you were in big trouble. Like, you better shut your mouth and let Mema listen to her Reds play. And so I always carry that with me. And my Uncle Danny, shout out to my Uncle Danny, my dad's brother. He's the youngest of the Hawkins family. That lump sum of kids that are plentiful. But Danny's a diehard Reds fan. He sent me a picture of him in his Reds outfit and gear, ready to watch him play Boston on opening day. They lost to the Red Sox. Put up a good fight, but got clipped in the end. I think around the eighth inning. Top of the eighth inning was very ugly for them. So anyway, Cincinnati Reds are my MLB team, if you will. I just, I have to do it. It's just like those people back home that wouldn't sell that land. I'm not selling out on my Cincinnati Reds, even though they've been predominantly god-awful for years. But I think you're a huge Braves fan. Is that correct, Doug?
I'm a big Braves fan. Grew up watching the Braves on TBS. You've seen my put the Braves back on TBS shirt. It is going to be what it is. Last year was very disappointing for the Braves. They made a big signing. He got suspended for drug use, and then he got suspended again for drug use. So they're having to plug and play a little bit there.
Acuna got hurt too, didn't he? He was out the whole year.
He did last year. Yeah. I think he's going to be healthy now, though. So we'll see. I mean, I think until somebody beats them, the Dodgers are going to be the front runners. They spend the most money. They basically have an all-star team out there. They're disgusting. But whatever, it is what it is. It's nice to see baseball back. It's the American pastime. It feels really good when the boys of summer come back. You can go to the ballpark and have your hot dog, have you a beer, watch the fireworks, celebrate America, celebrate baseball. So I love MLB, and I'm glad that it's back.
Doug, let me ask you this. If Raleigh gets a Major League Baseball team, you've got this long history of being a Braves fan, right? What are you going to do then?
Yep.
What are you going to do? You going to split allegiances? What's up?
I think what's going to happen is if Raleigh gets a team, there'll be an American League team. So then I can just have a team in each league.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's go past that. They're the NL and AL, right? They meet in the World Series. Then what, Doug?
Well, then, just like I did to the Atlanta Falcons when we got the Carolina Panthers, North Carolina first, baby.
Let's go. Right answer, Doug. Right answer.
Yeah. Because I loved Deion Sanders and Andre Rison and all those guys before we had the Panthers. I was a Falcons fan because they were there in Atlanta, and Atlanta was my sports town until we got teams in North Carolina. So North Carolina first, esse quam videre, baby. To be rather than to seem. That's our state motto. All right, let's wrap this baby up. It's closing time. We're back at the closing table. Docs are signed. What are you looking forward to over the next week?
I'm looking forward to seeing what mortgage interest rates do. And I know I say that I've said that in the last 3 shows, Doug. I know you're getting sick of hearing me say it.
But I'm looking too, baby.
I'm very interested to see which direction this is going to head as things cool off. I mean, I very interested to see. I'm also watching gas prices like crazy. I want to see those go back down. If not, inflation is going to remain high and get higher. We need to be very careful of that to get our country heading back in the right direction economically. I'm also watching. I'll be watching the NCAA tournament, obviously, some baseball, and listen, Doug. You know what? I won't keep this too long. I know we got to get moving. We're at the closing table. Pen's about out of ink. The UFL played their first games last night, and the Louisville Kings played against the Birmingham Stallions. JJ McCarthy, excuse me, not JJ. Yeah, JJ McCarthy, I believe it's who it was the head coach of Birmingham Stallions. And then Chris Redman, a former Louisville quarterback, was the coach of the Louisville Kings. It was good quality football, brother. And I'm not just saying it because it's a Louisville team in it. It was actually really, really fun to watch. So if people are jonesing for a football fix, check out the UFL. They've got a pretty exciting product from what I've seen. There's a lot of speed on the field, good hard hitting, good interesting rules too. Like if you get inside the opponent's 50-yard line, you cannot punt the football on 4th down. You have to go for it or kick a field goal. Little nuances like that. But I thought, yeah, it's really cool. If you get a chance to check it out, check out the UFL.
Now, is that the league that merged with the XFL and The Rock and Vince McMahon's old thing? Didn't they come together?
I don't know if they came together. I don't know, or it's its own separate deal. But I do know that they put this thing together for players that, are trying to get in the NFL. I mean, Matt Corral, who was drafted by the Panthers in the later rounds of the draft about 3 years ago, he's a starting quarterback for the Birmingham Stallions. So you'll see a lot of former NFL players or players trying to get back on the NFL roster and stuff like that. It was really, really, really cool. Louisville lost in a heartbreaker. They kind of gave the game away a little bit. Sad to report, but I mean, it's awesome. So now I get another team to root for, the Louisville Kings.
That's awesome. Well, minor league baseball has been huge forever. The G League over the last 10 or so years has started to grow. And it's nice for these players who are football players to have another option, to continue to play the game and maybe to be a pipeline for teams to bring players up from. I think it's fantastic. Right. And football all year round, I mean, nobody's going to really say no about that, right?
I'm all good with it.
All right. Well, we're here, buddy. Like you said, the pen is out of ink. The docs are signed. The deed is recorded. We are closed. Thank you to our sponsors, Lend with Ben, Cornerstone Home Lending, and the Oceanaire Realty. And this guy, subscribe, leave us a message. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Controversial, fun, stupid, irrelevant, whatever. That's what we're here for. If you need help with a loan, you want to buy or sell a house, or just talk about investing, we're here. We've got your back. We're ready to help you. Until next time, Ben, have a great weekend. Stay inside, take your allergy medicine, and we'll see you next time.